Hi everybody! In today's video I will continue to educate you about emotions. I will explain the cognitive behavioral therapy model which you can use on your own so you can learn to help yourself. But before we start, don't forget to subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell so you don't miss any of my new content I publish every week. I'm a healthcare psychologist and therapist, and I make videos on psychology and mental health topics. There are very old and very new brain structures that play a role in the development of emotions and behavior that follows. Dysfunctional patterns of feeling and behaviors are often created because of negative or traumatic experiences which may be useful in the past but are no longer functional now. But they continue consciously and most of all unconsciously to be used by people. This is the case with both humans and animals. An important difference between humans and animals is that humans are able to think about this and thus influence it. Today I am going to present a model to describe and understand the coherence of thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. The model is based on the assumption that emotions do not come out of the blue. Your own thoughts and memories can generate fear, anger, or sadness. By understanding your emotions, you can develop strategies to change negative emotions. Learning such a strategy, just like learning to swim or paddle, needs a lot of practice. A triggering event is the internal from within yourself or external from the outside trigger. It can be a thought, behavior, or feeling. With other words, the events that evoke our thoughts can come from outside our environment or from within ourselves. Our thoughts can evoke a feeling, and this feeling in turn leads to certain behavior. Thoughts, feelings, and behavioral are inextricably linked to each other, as you can see in this diagram. They influence each other over and over again. For yourself, however, it's initially easiest to find it out in a situation in which a negative feeling arises. Which event led to which thoughts, and which feeling resulted from that, and finally, what behavior you exhibited. Most events do not automatically trigger emotions. Instead, the emotion is triggered by how a particular person interprets the events or how that person perceives the events or how he or she feels about them. Many fears are learned. For example, people wouldn't be afraid of guns if they didn't know guns could kill. Let's look at another example. Imagine someone lying in bed at night and awakened by a bang. What could that person think? There is a shot, or a gas explosion, or the cat has knocked over something, or the window is blown shut. What are the different feelings and subsequent behaviors associated with each of these thoughts? What does this example mean? There is only one situation, but people may have different thoughts about this. And it is because they feel and behave differently. Does it make sense? Another example. You walk down the street and see someone you know walking. You say hi, but she does not greet you back. What could you think then? You might think, she doesn't want to see me. Nobody likes me. I'm a worthless person. Then you will probably feel sad, and this feeling will have an effect on your behavior. For example, you stay at home on the couch and don't go to the birthday you were invited to because you think everyone will think you are worthless anyway. Can you also have other thoughts about this Second example. You could also think, she doesn't see me, she must be busy. This evokes a neutral feeling and you will just walk on. When you feel sad, it is accompanied by sad thoughts and sad behavior. A feeling of fear goes together with fearful thoughts and fearful behavior. For example, not daring to do something and then avoiding it. An angry feeling is accompanied by angry thoughts and angry behavior, and happy feelings with happy thoughts and happy behavior. And finally, a neutral feeling with neutral thoughts and neutral behavior. I give you one more example of 3 women. Let's call them Alice, Maria, and Anna. Alice doesn't like Maria and Anna. Maria gets very angry because Alice doesn't like her. Anna gets very scared. Why? Maria considers how much she has done for Alice. Alice should appreciate and like her. However, Anna thinks that if Alice doesn't like her after all she has done for her, then no one will like her. The conclusion is, if you think differently, you often do things differently. Your feelings also change when you think and act differently. Important functions of emotions are to communicate and prompt you to act. For an emotion to be communicated, that emotion must be expressed. That is, a certain behavior must be exhibited in order to make the feeling clear. The expression of primary of basic emotions, angry, scared, happy and sad, which I discussed in one of my previous videos, is programmed into humans. People can learn to suppress their emotional expression. The complex emotions are learned, so the ways of expression of these complex emotions are also learned. Emotions also make you act. You can express your feelings with body language, such as your posture and facial expression, words, for example, I love you, I hate you, I am sad, I am sorry, and actions. For example, hugging somebody, hitting, being passively withdrawn. But every behavior has consequences. These consequences can be short-term or long-term. Usually, short-term consequences are immediate and positive. Positive consequences result from behavior that is rewarding, helpful, or satisfying. The positive short-term consequences maintain this behavior. If you avoid confrontational situations, such as a birthday party, because you feel tense in large group, this has the positive effect in the short term that you do not have to experience anything stressful. Negative consequences resulting from behavior that is unhealthy, harmful, or unpleasant are usually the long-term consequences. For example, if you stay at home and avoid company, you will become more and more isolated and lonely. To motivate yourself to change your behavior, it's necessary to focus on your attention on these negative long-term consequences. If you regularly make this clear for yourself by writing out various situations, you can gain more insight into difficult situations and then influence them. Let's look again at this scheme. Here you see a triggering event or situation, emotions, and thoughts about the events. Your thoughts can also be estimates, presuppositions, or beliefs. What did you think about yourself, the other person, or the situation? Could you possibly give an alternative thought afterwards? Each day pick a situation where you had a negative feeling that caught your eye. In addition, you write down these feelings that you experience in the situation in question. including the physical changes you have noticed and the urge to act. Were you angry, happy, or sad? Did you have any physical changes or tendency to take action? Next is behavior. Behavior also includes speaking about emotion and body language. What do you express with your face or your attitude? What did you do or didn't do? Was that healthy, pleasant, useful, or harmful? Finally, there are short and long-term consequences of this behavior. What were the short and long-term consequences? Did you feel satisfied or dissatisfied afterwards? By learning to observe your feelings, you learn to let go. You learn to not identify yourself with your emotion and also not to be a slave of your emotions. Because in order to control your emotions, you need to take a distance. This will give you a space to think and use strategies to deal with them. But you must also be in touch with your emotions, to recognize them as a part of yourself and not as something outside of yourself. Compare it to a horseman, a symbol for understanding. The extent to which a horseman can control his horse, a symbol for an emotion, depends on his connection with his horse. If he is detached from the horse, fighting the horse will fight back and will not be smoothly controlled. On the other hand, if the rider is uncertain, the horse will take over. I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell before you go. But also give this video a thumbs up. Feel free to express your thoughts in the comments down below, but also on my Facebook or Instagram pages. Thank you very much for watching. See you next time.